Good morning, everyone. I'm just going to wait for you guys to tune in. Good morning, Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. How's everyone doing? How's everyone feeling? We're like 7 days to the election. How is everyone feeling and doing? I'm so anxious. Good morning. If this is your first time tuning in, say hi, leave your name, not your name. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Good morning. Yeah, you can start dropping your comments in there. I'll try to answer as many as I can. Once I, intro. Good morning, Peps Call from AZ. That's really early. I think it's like, 7 a.m. Phillips, first timer from Maryland. Welcome. TJ Palmer says, if Trump wins, do you think he'll change marriage-based green card process? Well, how about this? I will tell you what his process was, 4 years ago when he was in office. So if he wins, I'm pretty sure he will revert back to what it was, if not worse. Good morning, Grace Mercy. Okay, for those of you tuning in for the first time, my name is Ayesha Chidole. I'm an immigration lawyer, and I present clients all over the U.S. with their immigration matters, humanitarian-based cases, VAWA cases, T visas, U visas, marriage green cards, naturalization, removal of conditions. If you want to schedule a consult, call 407-995-6567. You can also send a WhatsApp to 404-333-8751. We don't take phone calls on there, but you can send us a message, and someone can call you back. Someone asked, if Trump wins, do I think he's going to change the marriage-based process? So I can never say 100% what Trump is going to do, but I can tell you what he did do. And if he did do it and believe strongly in what he did, he will do it again, most likely. The first thing is you certainly will not have any interview bypass, meaning you will be scheduled for an interview, whether or not you've been married for 50 years, 10 years, 1 year, 2 seconds. You will be scheduled for an interview. The main thing that he did that was really, really tough and challenging was implementing what we call the I-944, which was essentially known back then as the wealth test. And there, Trump was checking basically your income. How much do you make? Like, how much does a family bring to the table? What is proof of that income? Do you have health insurance? What is proof of that health insurance? What proof do you have that you speak English fluently? Have you done TOEFL, which is test of English as a foreign language, or do you have a certification? They want to see your college degree or your high school diploma. They want to see your credit scores. They want those print, so sometimes, it was so challenging because, we would have clients who don't have social security numbers. So they don't have credit scores. So we'd literally have to take a screenshot, saying we cannot find this user because they don't have one, and for a lot of people, getting health insurance without being able to work was cost prohibitive, but we had to find insurance coverage, private insurance coverage for them. So they will take all those things into account, in order for them to decide whether you are eligible or not. And then if you were older and you had any conditions, that required medication, they would need to know that your child, whoever was petitioning for you, could basically pay in full if it came to that, or had insurance coverage that could pay in full for that. So basically US, or no one else will be providing assistance. So those are not things that are being done right now in this current administration. So I suspect that, if he enters back, he will change it in some capacity. Another thing that he did was that he also instituted travel bans, as well as visa bans in certain countries, Nigeria included, because I know we definitely have a lot of Nigerian clients. And I know, obviously, I'm Nigerian, so I know people impacted greatly. So those were some things. So, we don't know whether he's going to put those 6 countries again or whatever he's going to do, but it's going to change. Immigration changes with everyone, even when if President Kamala, VP Kamala gets into office, she will probably make changes as well. We just always hope that whatever changes that they're making are fair, to immigrants and not something detrimental to many. Okay, let me try to answer some questions. Someone asked, do you do asylum cases? No, I don't do asylum cases. Can the T visa affect my husband with his F1 status? Without more, it's hard for me to answer the question. I'm not really sure in what context you're asking the question. If my husband and I are separated but still married, can I apply for my citizenship after 3 years of marriage? You'll be denied, and they will consider that a lack of good moral character if you lie about it, because typically you have to be in marital union living with your spouse to do the 3-year timeline. If you are separated, just wait the 2 years and just do it at the 5-year mark, and then know that you're applying on your own without your spouse, just so you don't put yourself in trouble for no reason. Do you think after the election processing time frame for VAWA will reduce? No, I don't think so. I'm married to a U.S. citizen. July 2024. We've got a joint account, joint car insurance, lease, credit card, power bill in my name, wedding ceremony pictures, family. Can I file in November or wait until next year? You can file anytime you want. I will say right now, honestly, there's no point of waiting till next year because, as you heard me say earlier, we don't know what the immigration landscape is going to look like, if they're going to require this additional well test or this additional stuff that was required before. So, if you are eligible for something right now, it's a favorable time. This is a good time to file. Also something to mention, when President Trump was in office, the person asked a question about, will Trump change the immigration process? I'm going back to what it was when he was in office. Now, you have the beauty of getting a denial and just kind of waiting and not seeing yourself in deportation. But back then, you get denied, immediate referral to immigration judge for deportation, whether or not you have a criminal record or not, So things are definitely very different now, and I would say more favorable to immigrants. And so we'll see what happens. All right, let's see what other questions. My number here is 407-995-6567. You can also send a WhatsApp to 404-333-8751. I have a file that have married. Can I still marry? I don't understand your question. Bello Ibrahim, if you can type it again, I'll see if I can read it. Good morning. I want to know how long it's taken for a second review before sending all documents to USCIS. I don't really understand that question either. All right, let's see. Can I use my travel parole to enter Canada with a Nigerian passport? I generally only answer questions related to the United States. The travel parole is for entry into the United States. The advance parole that you apply when you apply for a U.S. green card is only for entry into the United States. It does not take into consideration whether you need a visa, what the requirements are for you as a foreign citizen to travel to another country. U.S. is not concerned about that. Advance parole allows you to only enter the United States. So in order for you to enter Canada with a Nigerian passport, you want to find out what is the requirement for Nigerian citizens to enter Canada. Do we need a visa? What kind of visa do we need? What is the process for that? So that's what you would need to do to find out. But once you find out and you are able to enter into Canada legally, you can return to the U.S. with your advance parole, okay? What is a normal processing time for an RFE after responding? There's no normal timeline, unfortunately. Every RFE and every case is different. It depends on what the RFE is, what it's seeking, if it's something that an officer has the time to answer. So unfortunately, I can't answer that question. Okay, let's see. What's the requirement to get a visa for my elderly parents or a green card? Well, I will answer the green card question. To get a green card for your parents, you have to be a U.S. citizen. So if you're a U.S. citizen, you can petition for your parents, and then you just have to show that you meet the income to sponsor them, and that to prove that they're your parents. So those will be the requirements. Hi, Njoma. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you so much for how you explained. Can you give us your thoughts on if Trump and if Trump/Kamala wins? What are your anticipations with VAWA currently pending? Honestly, I don't know. That is one area that has kind of stayed consistent over the last presidential candidates or people in office. Because they recognize that is something. Domestic violence is something that's very, very serious and dangerous to immigrants. So I don't predict that will change in any capacity, honestly. But we'll see what happens. For me, I always say, like, I'm not a prophet. I can't predict. I literally don't know what's going to happen. But VAWA hasn't changed in the previous election and this current president, so I don't anticipate it will change. So yeah. If I'm undocumented and haven't committed any crime of any sort since I've been in America, will I be deported? You could be. You could be if you're in the wrong place at the wrong time. If you ever are arrested for something, you could be referred to ICE. So anything is possible. If you lay low, stay out of trouble. The odds are lower. But again, depending on who enters office, certain people have promised mass deportation, and so we're not really sure like what the process, or what their plan is, in terms of how they're going to aggressively try to locate undocumented immigrants or people who have overstayed their time here. So we'll see. Arnold Weeks, good morning, Ayesha. Can I please get to talk to you? Please, I'll pay for your time. Yeah, sure. Schedule a consultation. 407-995-6567. It's the number is right there on the ticker in your Facebook. Hi, Madame. Good morning. After the election, if Trump wins, will it affect VAWA people if we have EAD running with VAWA case? I think I just answered this question. I don't know. Like, nobody knows, we just have to see what happens. I can only tell you from the past that it didn't. It definitely affected marriage-based cases. It definitely affected consular cases. Like if you were filing for family members outside of the United States, it was hell, especially if you were from certain countries. But with VAWA, it's kind of stayed the same. So I'm anticipating or praying that it remains the same. Is there a different time processing for VAWA for abused spouse, child, or parent? No, it all takes about the same time, which is 2 to 3 years. And I know that a lot of you guys are like, oh my goodness, VAWA cases take 2 to 3 years. It takes a long time. But one of the things that you have to remember is that if you're submitting a VAWA application and, it's based on a U.S. citizen that, was the abuser, you're going to get a work permit and a travel permit in like 4 to 9 months, which is basically essentially the same privileges as having a green card. You get this for 5 years, so you're able to work, you're able to travel. as long as you're not in deportation while you're waiting your case. So, the alternative is not more desirable, which is having nothing. So, they say a bird in hand, is always better than none. Okay. All right. Let's see what else. What if you've been married for 4 years now and you've never heard from your wife and now she wants to get a divorce? Can you still get a green card? Not through her. Not through her if she wants to divorce you. But I would suggest scheduling a consult. Let's screen you and see if you experience extreme cruelty or abuse in your marriage. If you did, then you might be eligible. Okay. So let me just decline this call. I hate when my phone starts to ring when I'm on live. I don't know if it affects like the call. If you guys on Instagram can still hear me, let me know. Because I thought I put my stuff on Do Not Disturb. This is a good question. When a prima facie expires, do I request for renewal or is it automatic? For those of you who don't know what a prima facie determination letter is, a prima facie determination letter is basically a letter that you get basically saying that you've met the minimum requirements to be pre-approved for a VAWA case. It's not a guarantee of approval, but it's a pretty good sign that your case is progressing nicely. Typically, you don't request a renewal. It will be automatic. And I just want to tell you guys now, especially those of you that are my clients as well on here, prima facie determination letters the renewals almost always come 1 month or 2 months late. Almost always. So it's nothing at all to panic. You still have your prima facie determination letter. USCIS is just sending out millions. So it takes them time. Okay. What if you get an RFE without a deadline? If you have an RFE without a deadline, I am going to take a wild guess that is probably a VAWA case, and that is probably you do not meet enough to give you a prima facie determination letter. Can you comment and tell me if my guess is correct? I want to see how much I know my RFEs. And if my guess is correct, in that case, you don't have a deadline. You can prepare it, but you never really want to dilly-dally. Try to get it out as soon as possible. So with RFEs related to making a prima facie determination, they don't have deadlines, but say he said I was correct. See, I told you guys I know my stuff. But anywho, so in that case, I always say still operate under the 87-day guideline, because the sooner you get that information to USCIS, the better for you and for them to process your case. All RFEs are typically 87 days for the deadline. So use that as your yardstick to figure out when to send your response. Okay. Hi, Miss Ayesha. I want to know if it's safe for me to travel out of the country when I've not done my fingerprint yet. You make your determination on traveling if you have an advance parole. So if you have a pending adjustment of status case and you have an advance parole, you're not in deportation, you haven't received a NOID, you haven't gone to an interview, you haven't received an RFE, then you can travel. If any of those things apply, then you definitely want to speak with a lawyer to see what exactly it is before you do. Whenever any client of mine receives a NOID, even if they don't have any other immigration history, I absolutely do not recommend traveling, because a NOID means a notice of intent to deny. And so if the argument is not strong enough, or, well, I hate to say that, it's not that the argument is not strong enough. Sometimes the person actually, is not eligible. And so no matter what you throw in the argument, there's nothing you can do, because the facts are the facts. Meaning if someone lied about something, even if we respond to it, if it's a lot, if there's only so much of an argument that you can make. So in that case, you don't want to travel until you know that what we submitted is enough to get you through the hump, so that you're not stuck outside. Okay. How much do you have to be earning to sponsor a present? Do you mean a parent? The answer to that will depend on how many people are in your family. So that's how you make the determination. So if, for instance, you are, let's say you're single and you want to sponsor one parent. You want to be able to show that you make more than $25,550. So really, give or take $26,000. If you have a spouse, then you want to make sure to be safe, more than $33,000. So the numbers just go up depending on if you have children, it just goes up in increments like that. So I literally need to know how many people are in your family and if you've sponsored anyone else before to do it. Can you get dual citizenship while you are a resident? Well, here's the thing. The United States allows for dual citizenship. I have dual citizenship. I'm a citizen of the United States and Nigeria. So are my kids, even though they only went to Nigeria for the first time in their life this year. But that being said, there are certain countries that don't allow for dual citizenship. So you have to find out the other country that you have citizenship for. Do they allow citizenship, dual citizenship? If they do, then it wouldn't be a problem here in the U.S. If they don't, then you have to decide which country do you have more allegiance to, and would the citizenship be more beneficial to you? Should I be worried? I only received one prima facie since I submitted my VAWA in 2022. It expired this year, and USCIS hasn't sent for a renewal till now. I'm getting it. I'm sure they have. It probably got lost in the mail. So because if you did it in 2002, then you would have had one, depending on when 2002, one that ended in 2023, and then another one. And then after that, you get them in 6 months increments. In your case, since you are about 8 months out, you might want to check in and just see if they sent one or if they can send another one. But I wouldn't necessarily be worried. Can you use vacation as a reason for traveling with advance parole to another country? Yeah. For all of our clients, we put reason unknown. They can travel for whatever reason they want. We don't want to limit them. So we're as flexible as possible. When are they traveling? Whenever. What are they traveling for? Whatever. We just want the travel permit. So you don't have to give any particular reason. You just want the ability to travel if you needed to. Milton, hi, my VAWA was approved. Yay, what's up? Now I have a work permit, C31. What happens to my former advance parole and work permit, which is valid for 4 more years? Both of them are still valid. Both your VAWA approved work permit and your adjustment of status work permit. So you can use them interchangeably depending on what you want to do. If you want to travel, make sure that you're using your CO9. You want to be very careful about this. We've had a client who had their VAWA approved, and while they were waiting on their green card, they traveled with their VAWA EAD, which does not come with a travel permit. And I remember being called on the emergency line, usually I'm out of the office during New Year and Christmas, and it was an emergency. And so I remember I was doing our midnight prayer into New Year because the time zone was different, and the person was basically stopped at the airport, midway, in another country, saying that she would have to return back to her home country because she wasn't permitted to travel. And so there was confusion because they're like, wait, what? You have a travel permit. But when, I asked her to send the picture of it to me, I realized that she took the wrong work permit with her. So you want to make sure that you are taking your travel permit with you. And if all else fails, take the both of them so you know that you're not making any mistakes, okay? And also take your green paper, your green travel approval, advance parole paper. Never tell a lie. I really need your help with my case. If there's anything I can do, schedule a consult. Schedule a consult with us, usually you send your RFE so we can review it before the consult. But we will be able to help you. Okay. Okay. Hi, Ayesha. My partner is a U.S. citizen and I make more than them. Will I need a sponsor, or can I submit my tax returns to show there's enough to sponsor? You will need your U.S. citizen's income if you're not legally authorized to work and you aren't planning to, and it's not a job that you can keep if whatever status you're in changes. So it depends. Many people make more than their U.S. citizen counterparts, many immigrants, because, immigrants work very hard. But, the question is it something that you're legally authorized to do? And is there a timeline or a time cutoff, a deadline of that job? So that's how they make the determination. I'm married to an undocumented immigrant and we speak different languages. Can she get a work permit? So the language you speak, at least as of this current immigration, does not make a difference whether or not you can get your status. In President Trump's administration, not being able to speak English affected you from getting a marriage-based green card, for sure. So that being said, because she's undocumented, of course, the other questions would be, does she cross the border? Meaning she has no documentation of entry into the United States. If she has none, then she is going to need to finish her process outside of the U.S. in her home country or his home country, because you cannot adjust your status if you cross the border, if you entered without inspection. Nevertell says, I did 2 consultations with your firm before. So why didn't you hire us? If you did the consultation with us, you should have hired us, because now you are here again. Listen, guys, don't be penny wise and pound foolish, I need a consultation with you this time, please. How can I get a consultation with you? Specifically request me. You can specifically request me. It just means that you might have to wait if I don't have anything available, but you have time if, since your RFE is based on the PFD. So call and schedule. Okay. And tell them when you call, tell them, you spoke to me on live about it today. Okay, guys, I can't take any more questions. I hope you guys have an amazing day. Hopefully, I'll be here on live on the day of the election. Maybe we'll have like an election countdown or something fun. If you guys celebrate Halloween, happy Candy Day and happy Halloween. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.